Hello guys, it's Blair here, and I am here to do a video today on tarot journaling. It is something that I'm very deeply passionate about, but I've only come back into really working with a system that works for me. But I thought I'd share today some advice, some tips, also link you to a blog post that I have done, 5 reasons to journal, what you can use your journal for, and just covering some questions that, if you're new to journaling, if you're new to tarot journaling, or if you're kind of wanting to use tarot journaling in your practice, some great ways to do so. I have written some notes down, so if you see me looking down, that is just my notes. And also, it's a little bit cold today, so I'm a bit nasally, but I really want to make this video because I just was buzzing with the energy to share this information with you guys. Okay, so a little bit about how I've used journaling in the past with my tarot practice. For me, it's been an interesting progress. I started out sort of just by writing it down on pieces of paper. I learnt this from my mum. My mum is not really a practitioner, but she does do daily draws, and she was really sort of the guiding light, I guess you can say, in me having an interest in tarot. And she usually just sort of sits down and writes down the meanings of the cards and talks about how they reflect for her when we get together. And it's a really great way for us to connect to, and I think it's her form of journaling, and I sort of learnt that from her. When I journal, as my journaling is constantly evolving, it used to be very simplistic, and then I've gone through life where I've just filled up tons and tons of journals. But for me, at the moment, I use a variety of systems, and for me it really works to have like a daily draw system. So I'm just going to show you a little bit of how I do a daily draw in my current journal, and I'll just read you a little bit about how I kind of explore that avenue of using a card in journaling. So I don't think there's anything too risque in here. I'm quite open with sharing parts of my journals with people. That's fine. So, for instance, on the 3rd of the 18th of the 15th, 2015, I pulled out the Magician, and I wrote down just a few things that really meant something to me, which was the beginning of leadership, courage, initiation, willpower, connecting deeper to the self. So I wrote those initial things down sort of as a first initial thing during the day. It's almost like a ritual. I make myself a cup of tea, I draw a card, and I really bring my journal into my daily life. I try and do it before I have the temptation to check my emails or talk to the people who live in my house or play with my cat or anything like that. I sort of want to connect as soon as I wake up to the energies of what's going to be prominent, and journaling really helps me ground in that place too. So I just would write a little bit about what that meant for me. So I'll just very briefly just go through what that meant for me that day. So today represents itself to remind me and be aware that I am the magician of my own life. I possess the skills, resources and positive magic power to create my own reality by tapping into the creative and psychic centers that I can work with in partnership with the universe. I call upon the magician and the universe and know that knowledge is power. I sort of went into like, what do I know, could learn or harness and expand that could tap into the power I possess and assist me in this new adventure. Swift in new directions or a fresh challenge. And I just talked a little bit about how I have had experiences in life with working with manifestation, law of attraction, power through tarot reading, sort of just really use it as a way to motivate myself at the start of the day, because for me, I'm a very, very passionate, driven, I'm really living my masculine a lot of the time, and this is a really great way for me to connect both of those aspects of myself. And I really find that doing that helps at the start of the day too, because it gives me a positive outlook. Even if the card is a little bit, it's bringing up my shadow side, I still feel very supported at the start of the day. Tarot has been a very important part of my life and my self-development and progress. I have gone through experiences of depression in the past, and it really has, to be cliche, it really did save my life a lot, as well as journaling. So That's why I feel it's a very great way any time in the day to use with journaling, tarot and journaling together. It's just a very powerful way. Now, I talked a little bit on my blog about how that, like, 5 reasons you should, or could rather, or that are fantastic reasons to integrate it into your practice, integrate tarot journaling into your tarot practice. So I just list a couple of them. So writing itself is therapeutic. So as I just discussed, that, you know, at the start of the day, having a place that I can connect my physical self with and my spiritual self with, and the act of physically taking out cards and physically writing and sort of observing that and sort of processing it, is really just a bolstering, fantastic kickstart to my morning. And it's also a kickstart during the day, because I do sometimes do it during the day as well. It really connects you to your subconscious. It's just a fantastic way to really integrate other forms of divination or personal development as well. So for me, I am a very erratic or eclectic person rather, and I tend to do dream analysis, shadow work, anything I can get my hands on, any sort of form of divination I can practice, using crystals, palmistry, anything. It's just, I love that kind of stuff. So it's also aiding in that, and it really helps as my other points are, it helps as a reference, it allows you to keep a document, it allows you to sort of have some place that you can go that you feel safe enough to explore your own personal development in a way that most journals do. It's yours, it's unique, you can do whatever you want with it, and I think that's such a powerful tool to have. It's an ally to have, especially when you are doing something like tarot that is very sort of unique to yourself, and especially because that journey is ongoing. I think one of the best things about journaling in itself is that your journal changes with you. So when you're using a journal to practice tarot, if you have been doing tarot for a little while, you'll know that your tarot practice does change. So why your tarot practice is changing, and why you're changing, and why your journaling is changing, it really gives you a deeper insight into how you're learning, how you want to learn, and where you really want to go with it in the future as well. It's just a really fantastic resource for your friends, for your clients, for everybody in your life that is going to benefit from your tarot practice itself. So what if you're not entirely somebody who wants to write things out? I do know that some people don't like writing, some people don't like journaling in that capacity, some people just like jotting down notes or drawing pictures. So I've just gathered from my own collection of supplies. When I made an order for my new journaling system, which I'm going to show you in a second, I picked up a few of these because I'm also in the notebook planner community. I just have an obsession with journals in itself and their uses, many uses. So if you're not really a line, pen to paper kind of person, you want to really explore tarot, collage, really just get into the art of it and expression, I really would recommend picking up some sketchbooks. Now, you don't have to buy these kind, because these are just sort of moleskin, Midori kind of notebooks that I have to go along with some other aspects of my life. But using an A4 sketchbook is just perfect too. A5. These just have white paper, and I like the size of them. That just works for me. Same as the Cahiers or moleskin Cahiers. I always call them cash registers or cashiers because that's how I see them. And that's just blank. Or you can have something like my current Book of Shadows, or I just call it my sort of spiritual journal alongside my current sort of writing journal. You can just sort of have one that's like this, where you just really go for gold and draw things in and make notes, and it is whatever you want and whatever feels good for you. Just do that. Just follow your heart. I never thought that I would be using this journal for what I use it for now. When I first got it for my birthday, I was really excited. I wanted to use it. I had no idea what I was going to use it for. and because I was a lined person, I love lined and I like to keep my things separate. But exploring with journals is important too when it comes to tarot practice as well. Just as you would explore with a new deck, I deeply recommend that you explore with different sort of ways to journal and interpret the cards and interpret your own creative expression of the cards. For personal development too. Oh yeah. Okay, so what are some of the tools that I use for journaling, and what do my journals look like, and what the system have I got right now? And this sort of comes under a couple of questions that I was thinking about approaching too. Is should I dedicate one journal to each deck? If you want to, that is all the more power to you guys, because it's really dependent on how you work and how your process is. For me, I just sort of dump everything into those two journals until I realised that the scope of my practice and the cards and the decks that I wanted to use would kind of need a separate journal for each one. So for right now, and this is actually kind of tying in with something I'm doing on my blog, or hoping to do very, very shortly, is I'm working through the Psychic Tarot deck by John Holland. It's been one of my long-standing decks and I really want to get into deeper connection with it. So what I've done is I've used some notebooks. These are my 3 tarot notebooks to do with that deck. And what I'm basically doing is I split it up. I found something online, I just found a list. I split it up into the major arcana, which I started at the beginning, and then I split it up into the 2 areas. So this one is the cups, and I believe pentacles. So cups and pentacles in one journal, and that's the same one I just showed you before, and swords and wands in the other. So I kind of went through a uniformed look because these are the ones I bought for myself, and I'm just going to use one of my blank notebooks for something else as well. So I chose to do this. Now, why did I choose to do this? Because I know that while I'm going through this deck in particular, I need a lot of pages, for one, because I'm sort of dipping into my own subconscious as well as using other resources as well. But also, in terms of how I contain these notebooks and how I want to contain them once I keep working on deck by deck, I want to be able to actually have a system that I can use. So what are some systems that you can use to keep your things together, especially if you have the question like, you know, why I'm doing this, what happens if I run out of space in my journal, how do I keep all my stuff together, because depending on how often you're actually working on it, you might be working on it once a week, so it might take you a whole year to sort of fill up a notebook, or like me, you might be doing it every day, and after a week or two, you find that you filled up a notebook and you need another one. So, for me, I use, and this is just an example because I'm actually waiting to get one that fits for this one, but I would use my Midori, which is a traveller's notebook, and the system is kind of like a binder. You just sort of sit your notebooks in here, and you can get stuff, you can get elastic to help you out to sort of expand, so you can put more notebooks in here. But this is just an example of a way that you could contain all your notebooks. You could do the same with the Filofax if that's the way that you want to set up your tarot journaling. A Filofax is sort of like a 3-ring binder, but you can get them an A5, a pocket one, or this is the personal one. I'm not using this at the moment, I'm actually selling this one. So if you're interested, you can buy it. And this principle also goes alongside the 3-ring binder system that you can get very cheaply, very inexpensive, easily at any place really, Walmart, or in Australia, so Kmart, Big W, stuff like that. And you can do it that way, so you can have sort of the notebooks that go inside of it, or you can get some spiral notebooks, and the fantastic thing about those binders nowadays is that they actually make them for different sizes as well. So you can do that route as well. Or you can just simply have like a box, a really nice pretty box, where you keep them all. And, you know, maybe it's on your bookshelf or bedside table, and then you just sort of work out a system that works for you to label those ones. So you might put Rider Waite Deck Journal 2012, and then 2015, and then you can go back in the past, really, you can go back in the future, go back to them in the future, rather, and look at them again, and reference them again, and it's a really fantastic way to see how far you've come, and what your interpretation of the tarot cards has been. So, sometimes I look at my journals from way back in 2010, which is really when I kick-started doing more readings and for people, and really getting back in touch with the tarot in an angel sense, because I found Doreen Virtue. And sometimes I think, oh, you know, I talked about the Fool here, but now I have a completely different idea about who the Fool is to me, because I've changed, and so have my practices. So what other tools do I use? I just use a couple of simple things. For me, I'm a very colourful visual person, because I do create a lot. I need colour. If I don't have colour, I just get depressed. Honest to heavens and gods, I get depressed. So I have like 10,000 packs of highlighters in my room. So these are just an example, a very cheap packet I got at Kmart that I keep by my bedside table. I use these to highlight and make notes. Same with these. These ones, which I've had forever. I use post-it notes, and believe it or not, I'm actually running out. I have a whole entire box of post-it notes that I've had since I was like 13, and I still continue to buy more because I need them. I use them a lot. Pens and pencils, of course, if you do want to underline, you don't have to. And in terms of those three tools in themselves, I would like to just very quickly reference to that an important part of your journey, if you're starting out, or if you're wanting to look at different ways that you can interpret the tarot from other people's perspectives, I would recommend getting some books that really relate to the area that you want to focus on. So for me, I just picked up this used copy. It's very bunged up, but I don't mind because I'm going to use it anyway. I picked up a book on spiritual tarot, 78 Paths to Personal Development, because that's how tarot is reflecting in my life right now, so I've sort of used that. And also Real Tarot by Dawn Cloud is a book that my friend gave me to sort of, because I'm going back to basics as well a little bit. I always like going back to basics and sort of honing in and seeing what other people's views are of the tarot as well. And what you can do with highlighters and whatnot, I know some people might cringe, and believe it or not, I used to be one of those people that would just completely skip out if I even got a line in my book. Because I'm a book collector, I don't know if you guys can see, book collection. So you can use your highlighters and stuff to go through pages and write your notes as well while you're doing your study, and then you can put them into the notebooks as well. Like for me, once I finish the initial chapter in this book, I'm going to make some notes about it so that I can go back and reference it if I need to. Or again, it's versatile on the go, so if I don't really want to carry around this book, but I know that the notes that I want to reference are in that notebook, I don't have to carry around 10 books in my handbag or my tote bag because I don't have a handbag. I can just go straight to my journal and be like, yep, I'm ready to dig right in, girl, man, cat, being, elemental, we're all here together and we're all going to do some journaling together. So I'm feeling a little bit excited now, a little bit hyper, maybe a little bit ADHD for me. Yes, I have issues. Okay, so those are just some tools that you can use as well. You maybe want to use a new favourite deck. I know I just got the Gaia Oracle deck, and I haven't even opened it yet, but I'm excited. Blank notebooks, as I expressed, resources. Also, check out YouTube as well when you're journaling and doing your tarot work. If you haven't already considered it, watch some videos on YouTube about tarot, and I particularly like the Four Queens, so I think I go on there every day and at least watch one video that I'm going to sort of help incorporate into my journal practice as well as my tarot practice, even if I do know some of the techniques that she's using, or I just like to learn from other people. And also, it's a great tool to have is a supportive network of fellow tarot lovers. So for me, I just recently found out that there's a site called Eclectic Tarot, and I think that's a fantastic site. But also, I think it's a really fantastic site if you don't have anyone around you very close. Same with YouTube. If you can connect with people, tarot lovers on YouTube, you're bound to find people who you can really relate to and really help you in your progress, whether you're beginning, seasonal, you've been doing it for 70 years, it doesn't matter. You know, you're always learning, you can always find some great community. And also, I would probably say too that if you do have people in your life that you can sort of journal with, I know that one of my best friends, she loves tarot, and that's how we got together, and that's how we really progressed our friendship. And for us, sometimes we sit down with our journals and we sort of pick out a card, and each of us ask, you know, what do we think about this card? We jot it down. So when I come back home, I've got not only her impersonation or impressions, but mine too, and I can kind of see where we mix up, and it really helps me with my clients and students as well. And I think that's really exciting too, because it means I can bring that really juicy stuff to you guys as well, different perspectives, not just mine. I think that's why we do tarot. That's why we journal, because we want to relate and connect with people. So I hope that really answered some of your questions. I'm looking down at my computer now, so I'm sorry if I haven't looked up. I'm just sort of reading for the questions. And I do have a little bit of trouble looking at the camera sometimes, because I'm so used to having a camera around here rather than up here. But I do thank you guys for watching, and I know it's a very long video, but hopefully you have gained some help and some advice and some ways that you can incorporate journaling into your life. If you have any questions or you don't think I've covered anything enough, please ask me. I'm more than happy to share some tips or help you out in the areas. Also, like I said, there's a post that's going alongside this as well on my blog, so check that out. I just talk about some the reasons for journaling in some more in depth, and I really talk about, you know, the ways that you can use tarot, like what ways you can use tarot and tarot journaling together, in what forms, like study and motivation and shadow work. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I love you all, and I will see you soon. Bye.